Queen Sugar, Season 1, Episode 10, So Far. I was just a little bit late, 2 seconds, 2 minutes coming into it, but I walked right in on Micah and Kiki um, talking. Kiki looked really, really pretty, and Micah looked very, very impressed that Kiki looked so pretty. What I loved about this little small snippet that I saw was that uh, Kiki seems very, very confident, and she was giving Nova and Chantal. They in the kitchen, and they, Nova's making up either lunch or dinner because Chantal makes a reference about breakfast earlier that morning, and they smiling and laughing. And Chantal seems extremely comfortable. I'm just gonna say this, but I told you, Chantal, please be careful. Well, so she's getting ready to clean the table off, and she picks up the newspaper, and she happens to see that Nova um, um, has written an article about Nola, and I forget what the name of her column is. It's like Nova's Nola or Nova on Nola or something like that. It's a steady column that she writes. Well, evidently her work to help African American youth and males um, in their cause against this unfair treatment by the police and the judicial system has garnered her some attention from none other than Melissa Perry Harris. And this is a name drop that should be familiar to all of us because Melissa Perry Harris is a very notable journalist and TV host. Chantal is super huge, her biggest supporter. She is rah-rahing her up, and Nova steady cooking, and she's noticing Chantal's excitement, and Chantal says, "Hey, you got your talking points. I can help you with that." She just jumps right in, both feet, and Nova is cooking, but she is like, Chantal want to collaborate, and Nova is trying to matriculate right on off to do her own thing. She's not feeling no Chantal's participation. Now, she's not feeling it. One, I think, because she's not as connected to Chantal emotionally as Chantal is to her. I think Nova's having fun. Um, I certainly don't think she feel for Chantal like she feel for Calvin. Um, and I do think that Nova has nurtured and grown her uh, place in the journalism world, and I don't think she want to share that with Chantal. I don't think she wants Chantal to. I don't think she want to feel like she owes Chantal anything. That is just my opinion. Okay. Then we see Charlie, Ralph, Angel, and Nova and Prospers. And, they're supposed to be meeting with the workers where the workers don't show back up. So um, they have a little conversation about how we're going to get workers, and Prosper saying, I'll try to find some workers. Now, I don't think the workers didn't show back up because um, they felt, some type of way against the farm. I think the workers didn't show back up because working at that farm is a reminder, probably, of their friends being killed. So, IJS. Um, so Ralph Angel reminds Charlie to continue to work on the meal deal. So then we see Vi. Um, okay, so at the same time, they all sitting at the table and trying to work it out. And comes Darla. Darla is saying, she's kind of, in total mommy mode because she's trying to get Blue ready for school and put his shoes on. And he's super excited that she's there to take him to school. In comes Aunt Vi. Aunt Vi comes in and she's talking to them about, you know, what's going on at the farm and a couple of little small talk. And she wants to know if Blue is ready. Well, of course, everybody's like, this is gonna be a problem. And Ralph Angel completely forgot to tell her that he is letting Darla go and take Blue to school 3 days a week. And Aunt Vi is very upset about that. She is pissed off. One, she came in with this really, really, really excited energy. I'm sure this is probably the best part of her day is taking Blue to school. And that energy, that fire was just doused. I mean, she had no time to prepare for that information at all. And I kind of low key feel like, I don't know. Why do I feel this way about Darla? I don't know. I just felt like the way Darla told her kind of made me feel like she was rubbing it in Aunt Vi's face. I'm prepared to be wrong about this, y'all. I want to be wrong about this, but somehow I don't think so. Ooh, why would there be a bee in here? I told y'all all of nature is working against me. Oh, I hate killing stuff, but the survival of the fittest. Anyway, yeah, I kind of feel like Darla may have tried to. She acted real satisfied when she told Vi that she was taking Ralph ain't just letting me take Blue to school 3 days a week now. Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays. I just listen. When Ralph Angel apologized to Aunt Vi, said my bad, it's all on me. Um, the look to me on Aunt Vi's face said, "Here we go again with this bullish." That's what the look on her face said to me. Okay, here we go again. All right. When she turned around, when she turned around to that sink, I promise you, all women do it, but black women are especially good at it. When they got an attitude, I promise you, it could take the temperature down in the room 2 degrees. When she turned her back, everybody felt that cold wind blow through there. Okay? Not a good look. Not a good look. Um, at the same time, Prosper mentions to Aunt Vi that the High Yellow was closing down. And before she could figure out why they was closing down and what was going on with it, that's when Dollar comes in and drops the news about Blue in school. Okay, so let's move forward. Now, at this moment, I thought to myself, "Oh, I bet you Aunt Vi gonna buy that restaurant." But then I was like, "How can she afford it?" But let's move forward. Vi, we see Vi's in the garden. The next scene, and up comes Hollywood. He brings her some African violets, and she tells them, "You can take them back to Africa." Now I was thinking to myself, Aunt Vi, don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do this. You know better than anybody how hard it is out there for a woman to find a decent man. And you got one beat down your door every chance he get to apologize and say he's sorry. And he's just trying to tell her, listen, you know I had good intentions when I did this thing. And she said, listen, it ain't about being mad at you. It's about me doing a new thing and not doing the same old, same old. Well, he tells her that don't waste our days. You know I love you and you know I'm not gonna love nobody else like I love you. Don't do this. She ain't got nothing for him. So he put the flowers down and go on about his business. Then we see Ralph Angel Blue and the teacher. I think her last name is Louise. I think I have learned it now, Miss Louise. And Ralph Angel wants to get his permission slip signed because he's going to the zoo. I love the way when Ralph Angel was signing the permission slip. Blue was watching that pen. And they be so kids are just awesome. But anyway, so he talks a little bit to the teacher, but not a whole lot. I think she says something to him about him being a good dad, and he says, "Well, I'm just trying to be the father that my dad was to me." But I notice he has a very short amount of conversation for her now, whereas in the beginning of this series, he seems like he talked to her a whole lot more, and he had a whole lot more um, chemistry with her and a sense of implied affection. Implied affection. And I don't know if that's because Darla in the picture now or if it's because he got business about himself with this whole um, farming business or what. But I just don't know if he feeling the teacher all the way like that anymore. But we'll see. Okay. Signs permission slips, he's out. Chantal and Nova. So, Chantal done overstepped her bounds all the way, and this is why it's so important to read people's energy and to ask permission for everything. And I know a lot of people don't like that, but how else are you gonna know if it's okay for you to do certain things if you don't ask permission? You can't make assumptions. Well, she got a whole group over there at Nova's house, and Nova walked in. She's like, what's going on here? What's happening? What are we doing?" So the whole group is putting together discussion topics and talking points. And Nova's like, I didn't ask you to do that. You don't have to do that. Oh no, this movement is about us and we and us and ours. And Nova is like, listen, this is a really, really big issue for me. Um, I worked really, really hard. I know you mean well. But it's gonna be done my way and not yours. The words come out of my mouth gonna be my words and not yours. So of course Chantal, face is all the way cracked. And she gets her little group together and and it's at this point she realizes that her relationship with Nova is at a real, you know, yeah, yeah, you go over there. We not ever gonna know. In here y'all go together, Chantal. But that's just for you. In here, you and Nova go together. But to Nova, you somebody that come over here and there. You somebody to bide that time between her and Calvin and what her and Calvin doing. That's just how I see it. Okay. And I already called couple of episodes ago that Nova is non-committal unless it's about Calvin. Honestly, that's what I think. Um, then we see Charlie. Um, she's calling around looking for meals. She's talking to one meal in particular, and she learns from the person on the other end that this is the same meal that her father dealt with. And because they say you earn this borderline dollar, yeah, I'm earning this borderline dollar. Yeah, come on in, we'll help you get your cane to the meal. She also at this moment listens to her voicemail and she realizes that the penis picture from uh, the Caucasian girl in Los Angeles has followed Micah down to New Orleans. Evidently, private schools talk. Um, okay. Ralph Angel overhears the conversation between Aunt Vi and Charlie about the private school and the issue. And Charlie is mad because the private school called Davis. And Vi said, well, he is the child's father. Well, the look on Ralph Angel's face is, yeah, it's a lot of people out here who children's father, but they don't have no rights. You know, the look on his face. You know, he looked like he got something he want to say, like he want to contribute to the conversation, but he doesn't. Um, Charlie was real upset. She wanted to get herself together and get her child in school and do all this, and she didn't want to include David. She really don't want to look upon his face or talk to him again if she don't have to. Meanwhile, we see Nova, Chantal, and Red comes over. Nova's trying to help Chantal get all them people out of her house and get all her stuff together. And Red comes to the door and he tells her about Too Sweet and his family being evicted and going to a shelter. Well, when Too Sweet evidently got to the shelter, he kind of lost it. Maybe I guess because he felt like it was just like being incarcerated again. And she's listening to that and she's concerned, but then I, I may have missed it coming in and out of the room. I don't know what she did about the whole Too Sweet situation. Okay, so then we see Micah and Charlie talking about Gardini prep. He's getting ready. He's pretty excited. He's sharply dressed. He's ready to go. And she tells him he doesn't want to be late. And she tells him we're not going to be late because I don't think you're going to be able to go because of this picture. It has followed you down here. He's upset and he feels like the world is against him. And for the first time, I think personally ever, that I have seen him uh, since this, he thinks it's because he's black. Okay, well, welcome to Black America. Oh, she's telling him, we're going to work it out. It's because your father's a superstar. And he's like, oh, no, it's because I'm black. And she says, things have changed. And he says, well, maybe I should just go to public school. Nobody saw that coming, Michael. And she's telling him, just calm down, just you let we've got a lawyer, mom's working on this, don't worry. And of course Aunt Vi is always ready to give her 2 cents. Well, why don't he go to St. Joe High? You know, it's a good school. Charlie is like, that is not the point. We want him to have every advantage in this world. Well, you know, Michael mentions that the school is $30,000. I don't know if it's a year, a semester, a week. I don't know, but $30,000 is a lot of money. I'm with Aunt Vi, and she says $30,000. You got money to throw away like that, you know? And of course, Charlie doesn't consider it being thrown away. And she said, there's a lot of people out here in this world that don't even make $30,000 a year. I don't even make $30,000 a year. And so Charlie says, that's why we're trying to get him a better life and put him in some of these great schools so he doesn't end up like. And she cut it short. Now, I see her point. I do. I do. And sometimes when you're trying to have a conversation with one person and that person is heated and throwing things at you and you're trying to resolve it and you got this auxiliary voice in your head that will not shut up and doesn't realize now may not be a good time to jump in all of this. Sometimes you can't come out the side of your neck with something slick. I don't think she meant it that way. I think she meant it just to end the conversation. Um, Aunt Vi didn't seem crushed. She just was like, okay, I'll stay out your business. Anyway, that moment she said it, Ralph Angel and Michael both took a deep breath, like, oh, Charlie, you, oh, poor Charlie, R.I.P. Charlie, because they know Aunt Vi will get to it. Um, so we see Charlie at the meal, and the meal people's names are uh the Boudreaux. Don't that sound like a name for some snobs, some uppity people? Anyway, so she's talking to Mr. Boudreaux, and he's telling her that she brings the meal in, they get 40%. And she's like, 40%? I'm an agent, and I don't even get 5. And he's saying, well, that's pretty much standard. Um, if you grow good cane, and you yield enough harvest, 60% should be more than enough, and it's pretty standard. This is what they live off of. She accepts it. She walks through the plant. And how old is this plant? And he's like, well, let me just put it this way. This plant been here since before you and I were born all together, you know. And she's like, oh, okay, okay. She's impressed and all of that. He talks to her a little bit more about the bonus. What bonus? What are you talking about? Now, one, I don't know where is Remy? Where is Remy this episode? It seemed like a lot of important things went on that Remy wasn't a part of, and I didn't appreciate that. Okay. I don't know why he wasn't there during the meal walk through with her. But it's okay. I think it was important for us to see Charlie coming into the light, into the revelation of some things on her own, deducing some things on her own. Okay, so I think this was a scene for us to see this sort of connecting the dots moment for Charlie without Remy. I still miss Remy. Okay. He tells her about the bonus. And she's like, bonus? What are you talking about, bonus? Well, after you harvest and get everything in, depending on the quality of the cane, if it's a very, very high quality, the farmers get a bonus. Well, how much of a bonus? And he said, I don't know, upwards up to $400,000. It's on top of my cane profit. Okay. So Charlie is business wheels turning. She's all in. Um, she realizes the importance of getting clean sugar in. Okay, so we see Vi going into the high yellow. Um, the manager there is panicked because evidently there's a state there and they want the paperwork for the refrigeration system, for this, that, and the third, and he don't know what's going on because it was his nephew, I think, that was running the place, and I don't know where that guy is. I say, oh no, the refrigeration was worked on, um, earlier this year. It's got 2 more years on it. He said, well, where's the paperwork for that? She was like, I don't work here. Oh, come on, Vi. Come on, Vi. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. She's like, you know what? I'll tell you everything you need to know if you make me manager. And I want salary, benefits, and a year-end bonus. I was like, Vi, if you don't give me a high five, if you don't give me one of these, okay? Smart girl. See, she's taking Nova's advice. Remember what Nova told her? It's time for you to see about you, my Vi. Okay? So he's like, I don't get my own kin bonus. Benefits. She was like, that ain't got nothing to do with me. So in comes the guy from the state. She greets him with her southern charm. And she smooth as honey whiskey, baby. She goes down with no burn at all. And she talks to the man just as sweet as pie. And walks him onto the back. I said, Val, you better do that thing. You better do that thing. Okay. So then we see Ralph Angel at the teacher's office, and he's coming in, he's talking up a blue streak, and he's, she tells him, hey, listen, um, we cannot accept your signature on a permission slip because you are not the guardian. We need Aunt Vi to sign this because she's a legal guardian. He was like, I'm his father and I can't even sign the permission slip. She was like, I understand and I agree with you. It's a liability issue. A liability issue. I am his father. She said, I get it. I agree. But we don't run this thing. And Ralph Angel takes that permission slip and he leaves. He leaves disgusted. He leaves mad and he leaves embarrassed. I really, really think that that is where his frustration came from, was embarrassment. I think he was embarrassed. So, um, we see Aunt Vi showing Charlie a couple of dresses. And Aunt Vi is a fine woman now. Um, she tells her she got a job as a manager. And she owes it all to her because what she said to her about not earning the $30,000 and all of this stuff, wanting better in life, kind of lit a fire under her. And Charlie tells her, I didn't mean it like that. She said, I know you didn't. She said, but I realize there's nothing wrong with wanting more for you, for yourself or for your family. And I thought that was a really, really um, good moment. And Charlie said, um, she thinks it's good. She's got dreams, and you know, she's got a few of her own. Well, they get to talking about that meal situation, and they get to talking about what's going on with the meal situation. Well, it turns out the Boudreaux are Landrys. They are married into the Landry family by marriage. Okay, they connected by marriage. Now, y'all remember Landry? This is the dude that ran up that doggone bidding for that tractor at the auction and also invited the Bordelons out to his farm for some sugar honey iced tea. Wanted to buy their family land after Papa Bordelon passed. And we find out that they are all connected. Not only that, but the Landry family owns 15,000 acres of cane land, okay? Not only that, they own all the mills, okay? A refinery and all the best land. Charlie Wheels gets to turning, okay? What do we see? Blue, Ralph Angel, and Darla. And he's talking to her about the zoo. And she said, well, when is Blue's going to the zoo? He said, I guess so if Aunt Vi sees fit. Is what Ralph Angel say. And he feels bad about that situation. Um, and she tells him not to worry, things are going to change. I said, well, we still need permission. Dollar sympathizes and she tells, she's taking Blue on off to school. And he tells Blue to have a good day. And then he stops and tells Darla, Darla, you have a good day too. And she said, thank you. It's nothing wrong with them working on their family. It's nothing wrong with them trying to put their family back together. Whatever that looks like for them. But I just feel like Darla is up to something. I cannot put my finger on it, y'all. I don't want to feel this way about Darla, but I do. I feel like it's some in the milk ain't clean. Then we see Ralph Angel in Hollywood, and Hollywood is cutting Ralph Angel's hair. Now, it is, to me, something so ultra sexy about a dude that cut hair on the side. Mm. Y'all know I got a thing for Hollywood anyway, but this just is like the cherry right on top, okay? Um, and Ralph Angel kind of expresses himself about, some things that are going on in his life, and Hollywood already know what Aunt Vi ain't signed them papers yet. No, she ain't signed them papers yet. Now they start out after when he's cutting Ralph Angel hair, and he tells them no that I ain't been to see nobody else. She know I got crazy in me. In other words, she know I'm the only man for her, and she the only woman for me. Okay, so um he tells him, you gotta do fight for what's right, and do what's right for yourself. And he tells him that he's filing for divorce papers against Leanne. He hate to do it like that, but he gotta do what he gotta do. And that um he loves Abba and she's worth it. And I just like this. I like Hollywood because he gives sound advice, and it's never ever self-serving advice. It is always something to help out the other person. He's a very selfless individual, and I just love that about him. Anyway, this is an opportunity for Ralph Angels to gather himself and gather the strength to talk to Aunt Vi, not just about what he wants, but about how he feels. Okay. Then we see Kiki and Micah. Ooh, they so cute. So you know, she tells him that everybody was going on and on about him at school and how cute he was, and asking if they go together. Now, when was the last time y'all heard go together? Go together instead of hooked up. I love it. I love it. I love everything about go together. He tells her about the school and the fact that he can't go to the school and why, and she wanted to know what the situation was, and he mentioned some pictures, and the girl sent him and said when her mom found him, said it was his, and it wasn't, and she said so there was a picture of somebody else's thing in her phone, and he was like, yeah, basically. um There's a part of me that didn't want him to tell her that. It was a part of me that didn't want him to expose that vulnerable piece of information. I don't know why I felt that way, but I did. Anyway, water under the bridge. So she, makes a comment, one of which I think is her second comment about white people. And, she kind of gathers from the information that the girl that did all of this was a white girl. And, she kind of gives him a type thing. And she wants to know why you trying to go to private school. Why don't you come on over here to our school? And he was like, well, no, my mom was going. She said, I want somebody that's going to make their own decisions. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I don't like that. I don't like that. That feel a little bit like peer pressure to me. That feel a little bit like you encouraging him to go against his mama and his daddy. I don't like that. Seem like that's your place. Miss Kiki, you need to pump your brakes. You went from being confident to me to being overbearing. Slow down, Miss Kiki. Slow down. Okay, so she sees by the look in his eyes that he want to kiss her. And she said, if you gonna do it, let's get this done. Life is too short and I got to go home. So he does. It's a sweet little kiss. It's very touching. But it was something about the look on her face when he pulled away that made me feel like she a hot tail. I'm prepared to be wrong, but I don't think so. Anyway, we see Charlie at the Boudreaux's. Um, she says yes to the cane, and he hesitates. Yes to the meal, them milling their cane. And he hesitates for a moment. And she's like, what? I don't get. So he takes her over to the map and shows her all the land around there. And then their parcel of land, which seems very small, but we know it's not. I think it's over 800 acres, but you know, all of this land, we owned it. And he wants to set up an alternative um, scenario. Make her an offer she can't refuse. So then we switch over to Aunt Vi and Ralph Angel. And Ralph Angel just comes with everything. All of his feelings, all of his emotions. Um, they are right there on the surface. He is broken. He feels like he's begging. He knows that he messed up. He knows that Darla messed up. But he really, really is committed to rearing Blue and doing his best. And he wants her to not only hear him out, but budge a little bit. He knows what she's saying, but can you budge a little bit, Aunt Vi? I did my time. I don't want to have to do my time out here again. With this world, yeah, but not with my family. She don't say a word. She turn around. She go and get those papers to grant to turn over guardianship, and she signs them. And she tells him, I'm here whenever you need me, whenever things get hard. She tells him there's no shame in needing her help. Then we see Vi at work. He comes in, he tells her he finna push off on the rigs, and he wanted to just congratulate her on becoming a manager. He tells her you deserve it. You deserve a lot of good things. And she said, yeah, I do. So, you know, what can he do? He done brought her the violets. He done boarded up the windows. He done encouraged her and loved her. He done cut her nephew's hair. You know, he done did everything. He's getting ready to walk out the door. Aunt Vi comes to her senses. You want a cup of coffee? Of course he does. And that cup of coffee is everything he needed to be. It really, really is, y'all. There's nothing sweeter than to a man than receiving forgiveness. Because when it's a woman you love and she hold your feet to the fire, all you want is for her to forgive and forget. And that's a good feeling for him when she offers him that coffee. Yes, we back, Hollywood. We back. Okay. Then we see Chantal and Nova. Chantal's coming over to get her stuff. Because she realized she just a placeholder. And she ain't got time for this. Okay. So she is expressing to her that it's not to Nova that it's really not about the talking points. It's about the picture of the white man that's in your drawer. Okay, so you've been going through my things. That's how I looked at it. Yeah. Um, and she just tells him. She says, you know, um, I can't believe you doing all this fighting as a black woman for black people's rights and you dating a white police officer. Like that's oxymoronic and I'm not feeling that. Now I don't feel like that this is the whole point of the fight. I think it's also because she love a white man over you. I think it's a real small part of it, that has to do with the fact that she is a black journalist fighting for black people's equality. But I think a big part of you is jealous and upset that she will pick a white person over you and a white police officer to boot. We see it all the time. Anyway, oh, did y'all see Nova's arms in that scene? She is cut. Okay. Um. So Nova said, "What is so bad about me liking him? I like the way he look. My white man look. I like you too. Is that so wrong? Is that a problem?" And Chantal tell her, "Listen, we two different people. We on two different paths. Kudos, Chantal. Don't let yourself be used. Don't be somebody's placeholder. Don't do it." And she realized she is Nova is non-committed. When somebody tell you they like you and somebody else too, that's a non-committed individual. Just for the record. Then we get to the family meeting, y'all. This way it gets good. Prosper is there. Aunt Vi is there. All the kids are there. All the borderline children are there. So Charlie tells them that the Boudreaux have made them a cash offer of $4 million, which is 6 times what they offered before. Ralph Angel say, "Now that's what I'm talking about." But Ralph Angel, weren't you against selling the farm? Didn't you cut the straight monkey on your sisters about wanting to sell the farm? Okay. Nova say wolves in sheep's clothing. And Charlie said, "Look, I did the research. Something happened on this land. And there's a reason why they want it back. All this land there, here is our little bitty piece of land. What happened?" Prosper and Vi look at each other and said, "Your father didn't want y'all. He wanted y'all to come by the knowledge of this on your own. He didn't want us to tell you unless you ask. Now you're asking." The atmosphere gets thick. In this scene, the atmosphere gets thick. It's like grits in that room. Sharecroppers. They family was sharecroppers, okay? They worked the land, okay? And the Landrys owned the borderlands. They were slaves, okay? Their great uncle, Charles, left that land and went to Chicago and worked hard to send money back to the borderlands working that land, just like the migrant workers. This is why it was important for them to be kind to the migrant workers. This is why it was important for them to be empathetic to the migrant workers, because they themselves are descended from migrant workers. I know. I know. Well, the Landrys, because of the recession, fell on hard times and were forced to sell off some of the land. The money that the borderlands who went up north and worked sent back, their family used it. Grandfather borderland used it to buy that piece of property, them acres of land. Well, when the Landrys recovered, they wanted that land back. And so they did everything they could to get that land back, including killing and hanging their great uncle and 3 other borderlands, and then also hanging their grandfather, whose name was Angel. I know. Just sit with it for a minute. Aunt Millie, Aunt Queenie, and Aunt Sarah Joe went and cut Granddaddy Angel's body down and buried him on that spot. Which is why, for centuries, they made it hard for the borderlands, including their father Ernest. He worked it 5 ways a Sunday, trying to find a way to get out from under the Landrys, trying to find a way to get out from using the Landrys mills and refineries and all of this stuff. And they made it so hard on him. And Aunt Vi say that Ernest Bordelon didn't just die, they killed him. Every time he made a step in the right direction, they struck him down. But he wouldn't give up because he knew what it cost to get that land. Not a dry eye in the house, y'all. Not a dry eye in the house. Charlie gets up and walks outside. She can't breathe in that room. I'm telling you, the atmosphere was so thick Charlie couldn't breathe. She goes out onto the front porch. This is Ernest Bordelon's house they at now. So the front porch overlook all the cane land. She goes out there, and as soon as she gets outside, she takes a breath. Ooh, ooh, baby, and that ancestry settles into the sinews of her muscles and bones, and she makes a decision. Ralph, Angel, and Nova come outside too. They decide we ain't running. We ain't going nowhere. We ain't selling our family's land. Now, if you go back to Papa Bordelon's will and the things that he said in that will, y'all, is coming to full fruition here. Yeah. It is not just about those words. It is not just about the blood and the sweat and the tears that these 4 kids have gone through just in this short period of time working the land as farmers, inexperienced farmers. It's about ancestry. It's about a legacy. It's about not giving and yielding to the oppressor, to the oppressors in this world. And I'm going to say this and I'm going to get off. When I think about yesterday's presidential election, when I think about the mood and the temperature and the atmosphere today, November 9th, after that election, this episode speaks to me because I say to myself, it is not about the oppressor. It is about a legacy. Okay? We ain't going nowhere. I know. Until next time, I'll holla.